In the annals of history, there was a figure who, with extraordinary insight, grasped the profound truth of defying fate from the differing destinies of the rats in the toilet and those in the granary. Li Si, a young man from Shanghai in the state of Chu, was unwilling to remain ordinary. He studied under Xunzi, determined to carve out his own illustrious chapter amidst the chaos of the era. With keen perception of the times, he journeyed west to Qinguo, and with his exceptional political acumen and far-reaching strategies, he assisted Qin Shi Huang in unifying the 6 states, achieving an unprecedented imperial enterprise. However, the pinnacle of power often comes with endless peril. After the sudden death of Qin Shi Huang, Li Si found himself ensnared in the turmoil of the Shaqiu Palace incident. He allied with Zhao Gao, altering the fate of the empire. This decision, seemingly to consolidate his own power, also sowed the seeds of the empire's downfall. The debauchery and tyranny of Qin Er Shi, harsher than a ferocious tiger, left the people destitute and driven to rebellion, causing the Qin Empire to teeter on the brink of collapse. Li Si, once a pillar of the empire, faced the plight of his son Li You, his own power games, and Zhao Gao treacherous machinations, gradually stepping towards a tragic end. He tried to make amends, but in the chess game of power, he lost his final struggle, ultimately imprisoned, punished, and his family faced catastrophic destruction. Li Si was born in the late Warring States period and was a native of Shanghai in the state of Chu. In his youth, he served as a minor official responsible for handling documents. Sima Qian records an incident in the biography of Li Si, in the Shiji. Once, Li Si saw rats in a toilet eating excrement, scurrying away whenever a person or a dog approached. However, the rats he saw in the granary were well-fed and plump, leisurely playing and mating among the piles of grain, free from threats or fear of humans or dogs. Reflecting on this, he concluded, whether a person achieves success is determined by the environment they are in, just like these rats. Thus, Li Si studied the art of governance under Xunqi. After completing his studies, Li Si assessed that Chukao Liewang was not worth serving and that the other 6 states had declined, offering no prospects for achievement. He decided to journey west to Qinguo. Before departing, he bid farewell to Xunzi, saying, Li Si has heard that when one encounters an opportunity, one must seize it without hesitation. Nowadays, the powerful vie for opportunities, and persuaders hold real power. Now, the Qinwang aspires to annex the other states and become the emperor to rule the world. This is the perfect time for a political activist of humble origins to travel far and wide, realizing their ambitions. Remaining in a lowly position without striving for fame and wealth is akin to being an animal, waiting to see food before wanting to eat, despite having a human face and walking upright. Therefore, the greatest shame is lowliness, and the greatest sorrow is poverty. To remain in a state of lowliness and poverty while blaming society and despising fame and wealth, claiming to be above worldly concerns, should not be the true desire of a scholar. Thus, Li Si will go west to Qinguo to persuade the Qinwang. After arriving in Qinguo, Li Si quickly gained the favor of Qin Xiang, Liu Buwei and became a minor official, gaining access to the Qinwang. On one occasion, Li Si said to the Qinwang, to accomplish great achievements, one must seize the right moment. In the past, although Qin Mugong was strong, he could not achieve unification because the time was not ripe. Since Qin Xiaogong, the Zhou Tianzi has declined, and the states have been at war, giving Qinguo the opportunity to grow strong. Now, Qinguo is powerful, and you, your majesty, are virtuous. Conquering the 6 states will be as easy as sweeping dust off the stove. This is the best time to complete the imperial enterprise and unify the world, and we must not miss it. The Qinwang listened to Li Si's strategy to sow discord among the rulers and ministers of the 6 states. Li Si also proposed the order of annexation, starting with Han to intimidate the other states. He earned the Qinwang trust and was promoted to Changshi. Li Si advised the Qinwang to send emissaries with gold and jade to bribe and sow discord among the rulers and ministers of the 6 states, which proved effective. He was then appointed as Keqi. Just as the Qinwang decided to unify the 6 states, Han, fearing annihilation by Qinguo, sent an engineer named Zheng Guo to Qin to advocate for the construction of a canal, aiming to deplete Qinguo manpower and resources and hinder its eastward expansion. When Zheng Guo's true intentions were exposed, other eastern states also sent spies to Qinguo as guests. Many ministers criticized these foreign guests, saying to the Qinwang, most of the people coming to Qinguo are here to sabotage it for their own state's benefit. Please order the expulsion of all foreign guests. The Qinwang issued the order, and Li Si was among those to be expelled. Li Si wrote a letter to the Qinwang, urging him not to expel the guests. This letter became known as the famous Letter of Admonition against expelling guests. He wrote, "I have heard the minister's arguments for expelling guests, but they are mistaken. In the past, Qin Mugong saw talented individuals, inviting You Yu from the western tribes, Bai Li Xi from Chu, Jian Shu from Song, and employing Pi Bao and Gong Sun Zhi from Jin." Qin Mugong employed these 5 men, annexed 20 states, and dominated the western Rome. Qin Xiaogong employed Shangyang, implemented new laws, reformed customs, strengthened the nation, defeated Chu and Wei, and expanded the territory by 1,000 li, making Qinguo powerful. Qin Hui Wang used Zhang Yi strategies to dismantle the alliance of the 6 states against Qin, forcing them to submit to Qi. Qin Zhao Wang acquired Fanju, weakened the power of the noble clans, strengthened royal authority, and gradually annexed the feudal lords, thus achieving imperial enterprise for Qi. These 4 generations of kings made contributions to Qinguo by employing guest ministers. If these 4 kings had also ordered the expulsion of guests, the state would not have had its wealth and power, and Qinguo would not have had its reputation for strength. The Qin Wang, discerning right from wrong, decisively adopted Li Si advice and immediately rescinded the expulsion order, continuing to favor Li Si, who was then appointed as Ting Wei. In 221 BC, Qinguo king Qin Wangzheng, later known as Qin Shi Huang, successfully eliminated his last rival, Qiguo, thus unifying the entire Central Plains region. Qin Wangzheng then convened several of his key ministers, including Chancellor Wang Wan, Imperial Secretary Feng Jie, and Ting Wei, Li Si, to discuss how to establish his title. Qin Wangzheng believed that through these wars, he had pacified the world and unified laws and systems, a feat unprecedented, even surpassing the achievements of the ancient 5 emperors. Therefore, he felt that a new title was needed to reflect his accomplishments and asked his ministers to deliberate on this matter. After discussion, the ministers suggested that Qin Wangzheng adopt the title Taihuang, because Taihuang was a highly esteemed title in ancient times. They also suggested that Qin Wangzheng commands be called Zhishu and orders Zhaoshu, and that Qin Wangzheng refer to himself as Zhen. However, Qin Wangzheng was not entirely satisfied. He decided to drop the word Tai and keep only Huang, adopting the title Di to become Huangdi. He also decided to abolish the posthumous name system, which named rulers or fathers based on their deeds during their lifetime. Qin Wangzheng proclaimed himself as Shi Huangdi, and wished for his title to be passed down from Er Shi to San Shi and so on, indefinitely. Thus, Qin Wangzheng became the first ruler in Chinese history to use the title Huangdi, known as the famous Qin Shi Huang. Qin Shi Huang believed that the Zhou represented the element of fire, and to replace the Zhou, the Qin needed to use water to overcome fire. Thus, the beginning of the Qin was marked by the virtue of water. To align with this mandate, he decided to change the calendar, setting the first day of the year, New Year's Day, to October 1st. All officials were to pay homage to the emperor on this day. In clothing, symbols, and flags, the Qin used black as the primary color, as black represented water. Qin Shi Huang also renamed the Yellow River to Deshui, to symbolize the beginning of the water virtue. In governing the country, Qin Shi Huang implemented strict legal systems, showing no favoritism or mercy. He believed this was in line with the severe nature of water virtue. However, this also led to people easily violating laws, making it difficult for them to receive leniency. Chancellor Wang Wan and others suggested that Qin Shi Huang appoint his sons as kings to pacify distant regions. Qin Shi Huang referred this suggestion to his ministers for discussion, and everyone thought it was beneficial. However, Ting Wei, Li Si had a different opinion. He believed that the feudal system would lead to conflicts among the lords, as it did during the Zhou dynasty. He advised Qin Shi Huang not to grant titles to lords but instead to divide the country into commanderies and counties, using state taxes to reward meritorious officials and relatives, making control easier. Qin Shi Huang accepted Li Si advice and did not grant titles to lords but established 36 commanderies, each managed by a governor, a commandant, and an inspector to oversee administration, military, and supervision, respectively. In the 34th year of Qin Shi Huang's reign, he hosted a banquet for his ministers at the Xianyang Palace. Some praised Qin Shi Huang's martial prowess and virtues, but others had different opinions, suggesting that Qin Shi Huang should grant titles to his sons and meritorious officials to prevent future crises. Qin Shi Huang referred this debate to Li Si, who believed this viewpoint was incorrect. Thus, he advised Qin Shi Huang to ban private book collections, allowing only books on medicine, divination, and agriculture. Qin Shi Huang agreed with this suggestion and confiscated the Book of Songs, the Book of Documents, and other texts from various schools of thought to prevent people from using ancient events to criticize the court. Li Si's eldest son, Li You, was the governor of Sanchuanjun, and Li Si's children were all married into the royal family. When Li You took leave to return to Xianyang, Li Si hosted a banquet at home, with many officials coming to toast and congratulate him. Li Si, seeing the carriages and horses filling his courtyard, remarked, "I once heard Xunzi say that when things reach their peak, they begin to decline. I was originally just a commoner, but the emperor elevated me to such a high position. Now my rank is very high, and I can say that I have reached the pinnacle of wealth and honor. But I do not know what the future holds." In 210 BC, during his fifth tour, Qin Shi Huang suddenly fell seriously ill. During this tour, Li Si stayed by his side. As the chancellor of the Qin dynasty, Li Si was the closest person to Qin Shi Huang. In the entire entourage, Li Si held the greatest power, second only to Qin Shi Huang. Thus, Zhao Gao and Li Si conspired to launch the Shaqiu Palace coup. In short, because Qin Shi Huang fell seriously ill during the tour, and to ensure Qin Shi Huang could rest and recover, no one else in the entourage could enter Qin Shi Huang's carriage or see him after he fell ill. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Zhao Gao and Li Si collaborated to block the news. After Qin Shi Huang's death, they created the illusion that he was still alive. At the same time, they jointly altered Qin Shi Huang's final edict. According to established practice, Li Si was responsible for writing the imperial edict, while Zhao Gao provided the imperial seal. Therefore, at this moment, their collaboration could indeed achieve this easily. Subsequently, the two of them supported Qin Shi Huang's youngest son Huhai to ascend the throne, while sending another imperial edict to the north to order the death of the crown prince Fusu. The purpose of Li Si in initiating the Shaqiu Palace coup has been a subject of debate among later historians. Due to the lack of relevant historical records and the fact that it was a conspiracy, we still do not know why Li Si acted as he did. Considering Li Si's status at that time, he already wielded immense power. Within the entire empire, besides the emperor, there was no one else with greater power than him. Unless Li Si intended to usurp the throne himself, he had already reached the pinnacle of power. Therefore, later historians speculate that Li Si chose to support Huhai largely because he had differing political views from the crown prince Fusu. Li Si feared that once Fusu ascended the throne, he would overturn all his policies, causing Li Si to lose his influence entirely. Hence, he opted to establish Huhai instead. However, as subsequent history unfolded, it became apparent that this coup was the greatest mistake of Li Si's life. As Huhai ascended the throne, Li Si gradually realized that the new emperor he had supported was not as obedient as he had expected. Moreover, compared to Qin Shi Huang, Huhai had little talent. After Qin Er Shi ascended the throne, he implemented even more brutal laws and punishments, causing the court officials to live in constant fear. Many began to harbor thoughts of rebellion. Qin Er Shi was preoccupied with constructing the luxurious Pangong and building the straight road and the galloping road, which increased the tax burden on the people, who were also subjected to endless labor. Under such pressure, soldiers conscripted from the land of Chu, including Chen Sheng and Wu Guang, finally could not endure it any longer. They led a rebellion east of the Xiaoshan, and many capable individuals responded to their call, proclaiming themselves kings and resisting the Qin dynasty. Their armies advanced to Hongmen before being forced to retreat. At that time, Left Chancellor Li Si, Right Chancellor Feng Quji, and Imperial Secretary Feng Jie repeatedly sought opportunities to advise Qin Er Shi, but he refused to listen. Instead, Qin Er Shi blamed Li Si, accusing him of adopting Hanfei's idea that a wise ruler should not live a frugal life like Yao and Yu, but should enjoy all the pleasures of the world and satisfy his desires. Qin Er Shi believed that only incompetent people would do hard work, while a wise ruler should use the world's resources to fulfill his own needs. Li Si's son, Li You, was the governor of Sanchuanjun, but he was powerless against the rebel forces. After Zhang Han defeated the rebels, he sent people to investigate Sanchuan and reprimanded Li Si for allowing bandits to run rampant despite his high position. Li Si, terrified and unwilling to lose his office and salary, wrote a memorial to try to please Qin Er Shi and seek leniency. In his memorial, Li Si argued that a wise ruler should have complete control over power and strictly supervise and punish his ministers. Only then would the ministers be compelled to serve the ruler with all their might. He cited the views of Shen Buhai and Han Fei, stating that if a ruler did not strictly supervise and punish but instead worked hard for the people, he would be making himself a slave to the people rather than the ruler of the world. He believed that only by having the people serve him could the ruler appear noble. Li Si also mentioned that if the ruler does not implement strict laws and oversight, the people would not dare to commit crimes. He cited the laws of Xiangyang, stating that even minor offenses must be severely punished to deter the populace from violating the law. Finally, Li Si stated that a wise ruler should be able to free themselves from worldly constraints, abolish what they dislike, and establish what they desire. Only in this way can a ruler be respected during their lifetime and be bestowed with a posthumous title reflecting their wisdom after death. He believed that only by implementing strict laws and oversight can a ruler make autocratic decisions without interference from anyone. After reading Li Si memorial, Qin Er Shi was very pleased and thus made the oversight and punishments even more severe, believing that officials who collected more taxes were more virtuous. He also thought that half of the pedestrians on the roads were criminals, and bodies of executed individuals could be seen daily in the markets, with the officials who executed more people being the most loyal. Initially, Zhao Gao, due to his excessive killings, had offended many people and was worried that they might expose his crimes to Qin Er Shi. Therefore, he advised Qin Er Shi not to attend court sessions, arguing that the emperor's dignity stemmed from the ministers hearing his voice without seeing his face, which was why the emperor referred to himself as we. He also suggested that since Qin Er Shi was young and possibly naive about many matters, it would be better not to let the ministers see the emperor's flaws, thus preserving the emperor's image of wisdom. Zhao Gao further advised Qin Er Shi to stay deep within the palace, surrounded by officials familiar with the law, and have them decide on the official documents presented, allowing the emperor to indulge in pleasures. With ministers hesitant to report complex issues, the people would praise the emperor as a wise ruler. Engrossed in pleasures and reluctant to deal with state affairs, Qin Er Shi followed Zhao Gao's advice and stopped attending court, giving Zhao Gao sole control over the government. This monopolization of power by Zhao Gao led to dissatisfaction among ministers, including Li Si. Aware of this, Zhao Gao harbored resentment and deceitfully said to Li Si that there were many bandits east of Hanguguan, yet Qin Er Shi was busy building the Lepangong and collecting luxury items. He questioned why Li Si, as the prime minister, did not advise the emperor. Li Si had long intended to counsel Qin Er Shi but found it difficult as the emperor remained secluded in the palace and there were no means to communicate directly with him. Seizing the opportunity, Zhao Gao promoted himself in front of Li Si, claiming he would notify him as soon as the emperor was free, providing a chance for Li Si to advise. Zhao Gao often sent messengers to Li Si during the emperor's leisure time, claiming it was a good opportunity for Li Si to enter the palace and present his case. However, this displeased Qin Er Shi whenever Li Si appeared at the palace gates. Zhao Gao took this chance to slander Li Si to Qin Er Shi, claiming Li Si held more power outside the court than the emperor, was involved in the conspiracy at Shaqiu, and was dissatisfied with his status, harboring a true desire to become a feudal lord. Zhao Gao also falsely accused Li Si's eldest son Li You of having connections with Zhao Sheng and other insurgents in Chu, claiming that when bandits passed through Sanchuanjun, Li You only defended the city without attacking, and alleged secret communications between them. Consequently, Qin Er Shi ordered an investigation into Li You collusion with the rebels in Guangdong. Upon learning that Qin Er Shi had ordered an investigation, Li Si hastily submitted a memorial accusing Zhao Gao of being akin to the usurpers Zihan and Tian Cha. However, Qin Er Shi dismissed these claims and entrusted Zhao Gao with the investigation. Zhao Gao imprisoned Li Si, arrested his relatives and guests, and subjected Li Si to nearly 1,000 lashes, forcing him to confess under torture. Yet, Li Si did not commit suicide. He still hoped to sway Qin Er Shi through his writings. From prison, Li Si wrote a memorial outlining his contributions to Qin, including expanding its territory, honoring ministers, standardizing weights and measures, establishing national shrines and temples, building express roads, and moderating punishments and taxes. He argued that if he were guilty of these crimes, he would have deserved death long ago, and he hoped that Qin Er Shi would see the truth. However, Zhao Gao had the jailers set aside Li Si petitions, unreported, claiming that a prisoner had no right to submit memorials to the emperor. Zhao Gao also dispatched individuals impersonating imperial censors, heralds, and palace attendants to repeatedly re-examine Li Si. Whenever Li Si attempted to recant his confession, Zhao Gao ordered severe torture. Later, when Qin Er Shi sent officials to verify Li Si confessions, Li Si, fearing it was another of Zhao Gao's schemes, dared not change his statement and confirmed his guilt in the testimony. Zhao Gao then presented the verdict to Qin Er Shi, who was pleased, remarking that without Zhao Gao, he might have been betrayed by his prime minister. By the time Qin Er Shi dispatched envoys to investigate Li You in Sanchuan Jun, Li You had already been killed by Xiang Yu. Upon the envoy's return, Zhao Gao fabricated a complete set of charges of rebellion against Li You. In July 208 BC, Li Si was sentenced to the 5 mutilations and was executed by being cut at the waist in Yunyang market. Before his death, Li Si turned to his son, who was among his ranks, and expressed his regret that he could no longer take his son hunting for hares with a yellow dog outside the east gate of Shanghai as they once had. Then, Li Si and his son wept together before both were executed, and their entire families were exterminated to the 3rd degree. It was rumored that before and after his death, Li Si regretted his actions, recalling his days with Han Fei under the tutelage of Xun Qing, despite having been responsible for Han Fei's death. He pondered his fate, wondering if it was not divine retribution. This is the end of Li Si's story. If you like to listen to the stories of ancient Chinese legends, remember to like and subscribe to my channel. We will see you next time.